Hi, my name is Brenda Titus, and I'm a professional hypnotist in Orange County, California. For information about myself and my program, including in person sessions, please feel free to go to my website, ochypnotherapy.com. With that, thank you for joining me for today's Thoughts from the Hypnosis Office. And today we are going to be talking about having an attitude of gratitude and recognizing with April showers bring May flowers. So, I work with people all of the time who have gone through some sort of period of challenge. That's the showers, so to speak, right? And our goal is that through overcoming the challenges, how can we learn? How can we grow so that we can have those flowers, how we can make it to the other side. It's kind of, if you think about, the dark clouds and the silver lining. And so really when we think about that, we want to think about having gratitude towards a situation instead of being frustrated or angry with a person for what happened, angry with ourselves for what happened, or, when you think about April showers, would be angry with Mother Nature on that, and we definitely wouldn't want to do that now, would we? So we do want to find the wisdom, the blessings, the good part of the difficulties and the challenges. So I usually look at that as the opportunity for growth. I'll usually say that every day, we have an opportunity to learn, to grow, to be better and do better the next day. And there is a lot of research that shows that, people who are going through medical challenges, that, their attitude, their sense of having, seeing the bigger picture beyond the challenge instead of being angry and frustrated by it, can really impact our healing. And I've definitely found that as well, that when people can, kind of get a bigger piece of wisdom or a bigger, piece of their life puzzle through the challenge, they usually have really neat kinds of things to be able to say, even really difficult things that they've been able to learn and grow and be better in some way. So before I challenge you to be thinking about your own silver lining for the week, I wanted to give an example. And I'm going to use a pretty benign example. Well, hopefully. For some people, depending on how much work you've done, this might still hit a spot or two, and that's okay too. But, back in the 70s and early 80s, a lot of us kids, we didn't necessarily have daycare. We didn't have, childcare is expensive, and back in the 70s, a lot of us were left to our own devices. And they called us latchkey kids, right? We'd have our own keychain. We'd get ourselves home from school, and watch cartoons or get our homework done or whatever. And and obviously that was because in the end, mom and dad, they had to work. Now sometimes that can lead to a lot of challenges, though, because sometimes there's safety issues. Sometimes it can leave kids feeling like, well, was I not worthy enough to have been, taken care of, to have been protected, especially if maybe something happened to a child when they were home alone. There can be that sense of self-worth or a foundation of fear that can be there. So even, in a situation like that, when we can look back and have, and for my own self, I can say, I lived. I didn't break my leg doing backflips unattended in the backyard or falling out of trees. And thankfully, the guy who was checking the meters outside the bedroom door that scared me so bad that I thought, oh my gosh, somebody's breaking into the house. None of those things actually happened. I was actually safe and survived. And so did all of my clients that I've gone through this process with. And ultimately, what we can say is, even in a situation like that, there's a lot of independence that comes from a situation like that, being in a position of being, having to take care of yourself at a young age. So we've got a lot of, maturity, resilience, responsibility, dependability, reliability. Which makes us all really dependable and reliable adults as well, especially once we've overcome some of the fear and anxiety of somebody could have broken into the house, or oh my gosh, I could have broken my leg. So that's kind of my fun way of kind of giving you that example. And I hope that it was helpful. Like I said, every once in a while I'll share. There was a combination of my own experience as well as some from my clients that I've learned along the way. And I hope that that kind of rattled your brain in terms of thinking about how we can look at something that may have created even fear or anxiety or something like that as a child, but then how we can process it and also be able to experience our own growth because we went through something like that. Whether it's something, like I said, a little benign in the end. A lot of us in my generation went through being latchkey kids, all the way up to, I mean, I've seen people be able to find the wisdom and the gratitude for the journey that they've been on through very difficult times as well. Much bigger things than the example that I just used. So with that, I hope that you can find the silver lining in your challenges this week and be able to celebrate the May flowers that come after our difficult April showers. And I hope that you have a wonderful week. Hopefully more flowers than showers.